So what about? Could we start now?
Good afternoon, Ibu Dekan.
Yeah.
Happy, glad to meet you.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What does it mean? Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm sorry for takes time to prepare everything.
Okay.
Okay. Could we start now?
Yes, ma'am. It's okay. For me, it is fine.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to
Afternoon.
in our proposal seminar this afternoon. Today we have Jessica, who is ready for presenting the proposal for us. And the main reviewer, we have Ibu Dr. Elaneri. As usual, I inform that there are two sessions in this seminar. The first one is some time for Jessica to do the presentation. And then the second one, we give the time for Ibu Elan as the main reviewer to review the proposal. So I think, Jessica, are you ready now? Yes. Do you need time to say your prayer?
Yes, ma'am. I will take my time to do my prayer. Okay, ma'am. I'm ready.
Okay. Now, on behalf of the team, I'd like to say that our seminar is officially started. Now, Jessica, we go to the first session. Time for you to do your presentation. Time is yours, Jessica.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for everyone that has come in today. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the honorable advisors of mine, my first advisor, ma'am, Dr. Natalina Asi MA, and also my second advisor, Mr. Dr. Andes Tampung and Taman Emlit, and also to the honorable reviewer of mine, ma'am, Dr. Elaneri Karani MPD. Thank you so much for all the knowledge and suggestion and also advices that have been given to me so that I can finish and fulfill this thesis proposal. May I share my screen, ma'am? Okay. Okay. Is my screen available or everyone can see my screen? My share screen? Oh, good afternoon, Pak Tampung.
Yo.
Okay. I will continue. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming, sir. So, okay, I will continue. My name is Jessica Berliana Nanyan, and my student number is AAA118028. Without any further ado, I will start my presentation for my thesis proposal with the title, The Effect of Using Information Gap Technique Towards Student Speaking Ability for the 10th grade students at SMKN 2 Palangkaraya academic year 2021-2022. Yes, sir. Okay, I will continue. Now. Okay, probably I will continue my presentation. My presentation will be divided into three parts. First part will be talking about chapter 1, and then the next part will be talking about chapter 2, and then the last one will be talking about chapter 3. So without any further ado, let's move to the first part, that is chapter 1. In chapter 1, there will be consist of research background, research problem, research delimitation, research objective, research significance and definition of key terms. So let's move to the first one is research background. So in this research background, as we know that English is one of the most popular languages in the world and also one of the most used language in the world. Many countries use English as their first or even their second languages because by learning English, it gives so many advantages to the education field, working field, and social life. In Indonesia itself, as we know, even though English is not taught as second language or the first language, but English is also a mandatory subject that should be taught in every level of education, including school level. And one of it is vocational high school. In learning English, there are 4 skills. As we know, the first one is listening, and then after that, there's speaking, reading, and writing. And as one of it, there is speaking skill. As we know that speaking skill is really important, especially for students, as I stated before, including vocational high school. As we know that students from vocational high school is expected to get a job or to work after they graduate. So communication skill is really important, and the one of in communication skill is how they speak. So that's why speaking in for the vocational high school students is really important. And also based on the curriculum 2013 stated on Permendikbud number 81A year 2013 about that the learning activities or teaching learning activities should be oriented on the students, means that the students should be more active. The focusing of the activities or learning activities should be on the students. And also, as we know that in the research background, from my research background, there's so many techniques that can be used by the teacher to reach that goal of Permendikbud 81A year 2013. And one of the techniques that can be used is information gap technique. From the theory of Raptu and Harmer, that information gap technique provide learning activities that are oriented on the student by dividing the students into group or pairs. So the students in the group or pairs should communicate to each other to share the information that the other lacks or to fulfill the missing information on their own worksheets in case to answer the assignment or the text activity. So it's also based on the previous study that the researcher used in this thesis proposal, that it stated that there are significant effects or there is a positive result of using information gap technique towards student speaking ability. So based on those description and those reasons, the researcher would like to see is there any significant effect toward the student speaking ability of the 10th grade students at SMK 2 Palangkaraya in year 2021-2022. So that's why the researcher would like to conduct a research with the title, The Effect of Using Information Gap Technique towards student speaking ability for the 10th grade students at SMK 2 Palangkaraya academic year 2021-2022. Now we move to the research problem. Regarding to the background of the research, the researcher formulates the problem as follows. Is there any significant effect of using information gap technique towards student speaking ability for the 10th grade students at SMK 2 Palangkaraya academic year 2021-2022? For the research delimitation, the researcher delimits the research only on the effect of information gap technique towards student speaking ability and based on the content in the textbook, that is bahasa Inggris untuk SMA, MA, SMK, MAK kelas 10 that is used by the students and the English teacher at SMK 2 Palangkaraya, where the students are required to be able in retelling a series of past events. Now move to the research objective. The research objective of this research is to find out the effect of using information gap technique towards student speaking ability for the 10th grade students at SMK 2 Palangkaraya academic year 2021-2022. For the research significance itself, the researcher hopes that this research will be beneficial and give advantages and benefits to the students and then teacher and also other researchers and readers in general. And for the definition of key terms, as you can see on your screen, there are several definition of key terms in terms to avoid the misunderstanding for this research. The first one is speaking. Speaking is a way for humans to tell each other about their thoughts, feelings, ideas, and opinions, or simply just to say what is inside their mind. And technique is a way or strategy of the teacher to teach their students. And meanwhile, for effect is a change from an activity that has been done. For information gap technique is a technique that can be, oh wait, I'm sorry. And for the information gap technique is a technique where the students should exchange the information that they have to fill in the blank information or the missing information from each other or to accomplish the task or activity. Meanwhile, for the 10th grade students are the subject that selected for this research from SMKN2 Palangkaraya. Meanwhile, SMKN2 Palangkaraya is one of the professional high school in Palangkaraya that is located in Jalan R.A. Kartini. Now we move to the chapter 2 of this thesis proposal. In chapter 2 or literature review will be consist of technique, consists of definition of technique of teaching English for students, and then there will be also information gap technique, consists of definition of information gap technique, and also the benefits of information gap technique. And also for the speaking, there will be definition of speaking, the aims of speaking, the aspect of speaking, the function of speaking, and the assessment of speaking. Next one will be, there will be previous studies. There are previous studies that the researcher used as the reference for this research. The first one is conducted by Nur Malinda, Effendi, and Mahdum, 2016, in the research entitled The Application of Information Gap Technique to Improve the Speaking Ability for the second year students of SMA Negeri 11 Pekanbaru. And the second one, and the next previous studies is conducted by Dewi, Asriani, and Aprida, 2020, in the research entitled The Effect of Information Gap Activities on Student Speaking Skill, a study at the 11th grade students of SMA Negeri 1 Sibabangun in 2019-2020 academic year. Now we move to the conceptual framework of this research. As you can see on your screen, the conceptual framework of this research will be, there will be me as the research to teach speaking skill using information gap technique. With the hopes there will be output such as student speaking performance and student certification towards the teaching learning activity using information gap technique. For the student speaking performance, there will be the output for it hopes that there will be the output for accuracy, fluency, and comprehensibility. Now we move to the chapter 3 of this thesis proposal. The first one will be design of research. This research will use pre-experimental research with one group pretest post-test design. You can see how the one group pretest post-test design on your screen. There will be O2 stands for the pretest that will be given before the treatment. X stands for the treatment that is using information gap technique to teach the student, and O2 as the post-test or the test that will be given after the treatment. Next one, there is population and sample. Population for this research are all the classes in the 10th grade at SMKN2 Palangkaraya, consists of 11 classes, while the sample itself is the 10 AKL1 class. Next is assumption. The assumption for this research is that the 10th grade students of SMKN2 Palangkaraya academic year 2021-2022 have been done speaking exercise. And then the next one is the English teacher of SMKN2 Palangkaraya academic year 2021-2022 has the capability to teach speaking. And next is hypothesis. There will be two hypotheses. The first one is null hypothesis or HO, means that there is no significant effect of using information gap technique towards students' ability in speaking skill on the 10th grade students of SMKN2 Palangkaraya. Means that there will be no effect of using information gap technique for the null hypothesis. Meanwhile, for the alternative hypothesis or HA, there is a significant effect of using information gap technique towards students' ability in speaking skill on the 10th grade students of SMK2 Palangkaraya. Means that the HO will be rejected and the HA will be accepted for the alternative hypothesis. Next is the definition of operational variable. As you can see on your screen, there will be two operational variables. The first one is independent variable, and then the second one is dependent variable. For the independent variable, it is the information gap technique itself, and then for the dependent variable is the ability in speaking skill of the 10th grade students in SMKN2 Palangkaraya, which is indicated by the student score. Next one is, next one is the technique of data collection. As you can see on your screen, there will be 4 steps of the research to do the technique of data collection. The first one is checking. Checking is the way of the researcher to check, the researcher will check the student's name in the presence list to then compare with the worksheets collected by the student. And next one is coding. Coding is when the researcher will code the student's worksheet with the number codes such as A1, A2, A3, or A4, and so on. It will be done in order to protect the student's identity. So next one is scoring. Scoring is the researcher will give score to the students by using the speaking skills scoring systems referring to Hodges as stated in Rosalina 2019. After classifying the items, the researcher will give score for each item of the students. Next one is tabulating. The researcher will put the student score into the following table. Next one is, now we move to the technique of data analysis. There will be, as you can see on your screen, there will be 6 steps for the technique of data analysis. The first one is calculating the student score in order to determine their proficiency in speaking skill. The next one will be making a comparison of the score before and after treatment. It is the pre-test and post-test. It is the moment pre-test and post-test will be used, the score from the pre-test and post-test. Now, the third step is using test of normality to see whether the data is distributed normally or not by using SPSS 25 program. That is about several wheels. And the next is number 4 step. The fourth step is drawing conclusion of effect on the achievement by using t-test or paired sample t-test in SPSS 25 program. The next one will be testing the data hypothesis to see whether it is accepted or rejected. The results of the test will be compared to the t-test score in table. The sixth step is to analyze the questionnaire descriptively. The data from questionnaire will be presented in percentage. Now we move to the last one is research instrument. Consists of questionnaire, test, instrument validity, and instrument reliability. In questionnaire, there will be 15 statements for the students to answer. They can choose the option scale 1 until 5, where there is no wrong or right answer for this, but it will be the scale 1 until 5 will be defined as 1 very unsatisfied and 5 will be defined as very satisfied. This questionnaire will be conducted based on the questionnaire from Marwa 2019 with the adjustment to the needs of the researcher. Next is test. Test consists of pre-test and post-test, where the worksheet will be gathered from ESL and EFL worksheet website, and also by the book of communication games written by Jill Hatfield 2017. And then also next is instrument validity to see whether the instrument is valid or not. Next is instrument reliability to see whether the instrument reliable or not. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention and good afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Now we go to the second session. Time for our reviewer, Ibu Dr. Elaneri, to give suggestion and also asking the clarification. And also I give the time to give some question related to your proposal. Now time for you, Ibu Elan. Bu Elan? She's still here?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm glad that Jessica, you are brave enough to propose this work, as the final project of your study to complete your study. I mean, so information gap is not a new thing, or is not a new technique in teaching English, but it seems to me that you are inspired a lot based on more than 10 references that you put here in your proposal. And I'm glad that you refer your thesis proposal based on these references that you have quoted, I mean. So let's check the title of your thesis proposal. The effect of using information gap technique towards student speaking ability for the 10th grade students SMKN 2 Palangkaraya. Can you translate it into bahasa Indonesia, Jessica? Please translate it into bahasa Indonesia to make me sure.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for the question. So the translation for this title itself is efek dari penggunaan information gap teknik kepada kemampuan berbahasa Inggris siswa untuk siswa kelas 10 di SMKN 2 Palangkaraya tahun ajaran 2021-2022. Seperti itu, ma'am.
It's too long title, you know. So
Okay.
can you make it more efficient to drop some words, some ineffective words in order to get the more efficient and the more meaningful title? Can you?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, say it, mention it.
Probably it will be, wait, ma'am. The effect of using information gap technique towards student, towards the ability of student, towards the student speaking ability for the 10th grade
Okay,
at SMKN 2 Palangkaraya without the academic
okay.
gap.
So are you going to implement information gap technique?
Actually, for the first time, yes, I want to implement the information gap technique. So for this one, it's also the same. I will try to do teaching learning activity using information gap technique in a classroom.
Okay, can you tell me what kind of teaching learning of activity over there? I mean at SMKN 2 Palangkaraya, especially at grade at grade 10. Learning, I mean online learning or offline learning. What kind of activities over there?
Okay, for right now, they're using the PJJ or online learning.
Online learning. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. I'm glad that you are you explained to me honestly that teaching learning activities conducted at that particular school is online learning activities, right? So it means that this is closely related with your project letter. That's when you are going to do or when you will conduct a treatment, especially implementing gap information technique in order to to improve the student speaking skills, especially at the 10th grade over there. Yeah. So it means that you need to design a lesson plan based on online learning activities. But unfortunately, I didn't find anything related to the online learning activities that you mentioned previously. Got it, Jessica?
Yes, ma'am. I'm really sorry for that.
So, okay, that is the one point that you need to keep in mind, okay? The second one is, I'm going to propose, I'm going to suggest you the more effective, the more shorter but meaningful title. The title that I propose for you is as follows: Implementing Information Gap Technique to explore its effect on students' speaking ability at SMKN 2 Palangkaraya. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
Let me mention it once again. Implementing information gap technique to explore its effect on student speaking ability at SMKN 2 Palangkaraya. How can we detect that this is that the plan that you are going to conduct, I mean the treatment that you are going to conduct using or implementing gap information technique is at that particular school? You just set it in the limitation or whatever in chapter 1, yeah, because you can set there or explain it there. The limitation, I think, yeah.
Yes,
Limitation,
ma'am.
the limitation. Yeah, the limitation. Okay, so let's start from chapter 1. I think it's important for you to study more study more concerning English curriculum, particularly for the 10th grade, and specifically for the second semester. Because this semester is the second semester at that particular school. Ya, jadi sekarang ini semester 2 di sekolah
Iya,
tersebut.
benar.
Ya, sorry. So please study carefully what speaking activities that the student should master in that particular semester. Jadi di semester 2 itu kegiatan speakingnya itu speaking apa? Aduh, saya boleh batuk lagi. Apakah transactional speaking or interpersonal speaking or personal speaking? So which one is your concern? And of course, you have to refer to speaking activity or speaking speaking material, I mean, for that particular class at particular curriculum, yeah.
Oke,
Or
ma'am.
particular curriculum, whether personal dialogue, transactional dialogue, or even interpersonal dialogue. So based on this, you can set the delimitation of speaking materials that you are going to use in order to implement IGT or what? Information gap connect.
Okay, ma'am.
So make sure about that. If you don't sure, if you do not know exactly what are the materials that you need to teach by implementing IGT in that particular issue, it will be meaningless for you. Ya, jadi maksud Ibu tuh begini, di background itu bagian satu itu kurikulumnya harus jelas, materinya apa sih yang di kurikulum. So and then the second point is what are difficulties that the student face during study that particular lesson. Pada saat mereka belajar transaksional, pada saat mereka belajar interpersonal atau personal speaking, itu masalahnya apa? Sehingga baru you bisa set IGT itu to overcome the problem at that particular class. Gitu, Jessica. Jangan ucuk-ucuk keliling dunia dulu, kurikulumnya nggak jelas di mana.
Oke, ma'am.
Ya, itu di bagian satunya, bab satu tadi. Next. In chapter 1, let me see. Particularly research delimitation on page 4. You said here that the researcher delimit the research only on the effect of no. I think it's nonsense because you it speaks nonsense. Why I say so? Because you hear, yeah, in this part you explain that you will focus on the use of English for SMA class 10, where the student are required to be able in retelling a series of past event. Maksudnya apa ini? Ibu bingung. Harusnya kalau speaking itu tadi larinya berdasarkan kurikulum itu based on transaction, based on personal, transactional, or interpersonal speaking gitu. But if you are consistent with your proposal that later you are going to implement information gap technique, it means that you refer to transactional or interpersonal speaking. SMA itu jurusan apa aja? SMK itu jurusan apa aja?
Di SMK,
Kelas 10 ini jurusan apa?
akuntansi ma'am yang saya ambil. AKL.
Akuntansi, ya pastilah speakingnya kan hubungan dengan materi-materi akuntansi dong. Bukan masalah turisme, bukan masalah, mungkin bisa turisme, tapi bukan masalah kosmetik, bukan masalah how to use eyeliner, how to use eyeshadow, blush on, and so on. No, it speaks nonsense, right? But it's why it's very important for you to make sure what are the learning materials, what are the lesson that you need to prepare for the treatment later. Okay, so that is
ma'am.
my note for chapter 1. Now let's go to chapter 2. In chapter 2, you elaborate your discussion based on IGT. That's good, yeah. But I'm not happy with the way you quote Harmer in this case, for example, on page 8. According to Harmer, as cited in Agus, Mahrum, and Hastiti, itu sudah orang keberapa? Harmer as cited in Agus, Mahrum, and Hastiti. Yang
Oh,
mana yang cite di sini?
it is one journal, ma'am. So there are three
Enggak
three
bisa
people.
gitu.
Oh,
Kalau you bilang di situ semua nama-nama orang sini, itu berarti kamu sudah mengambil itu dari si Agus, dari si Mahrum, dari bukan Harmer, ada main source. Ini punya buku loh, kasih lihat ke kamu ya. Saya beli online
ma'am.
buku ini, karena saya ngajar TEFL. Nih,
okay.
buku online sekarang banyak, e-book juga banyak. Kenapa jadi kayak gitu caranya? Tolong yang mahasiswa, masa kami dosen aja dituntut sampai jungkir balik tuh harus nggak gaptek, mau mahasiswanya malas-malasan, jangan dong ya.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Carilah online, banyak kok materinya. Pesan tuh online banyak lewat Tokopedia and so on and so on. Cari, memang harus spend time, spend money untuk menjadi pintar, itu memang harus begitu. Kalau enggak, you will left behind nanti kalau tidak seperti itu. Okay, so it seems to me, yeah, you need to elaborate more the instructional material of teaching speaking for SMK. It's very important for you to discuss it in this part. Okay, you discuss about assessment of speaking, you discuss about speaking itself, you discuss about the aspect of speaking, but unfortunately, I didn't find the discussion of instructional material for speaking, particularly for 10th grade of SMKN. Nah, gitu loh.
Ya.
Materinya nggak ada, terus tiba-tiba sudah ada assessment, apa yang mau di-assess? Yang gitu
Okay,
dong,
ma'am.
Jessica, ya.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Okay.
Perbaiki. Terus, now let's go to the next. Sorry ya, tadi masih batuk-batuk masih ada. Apa ini? Halaman 20, teaching, speaking, information, give, teaching, performance, student certification. Udahlah, saya nggak peduli itu. Yang penting itu masuk ya tadi.
Okay, ma'am.
Bentar, saya lagi batuk-batuk. Okay, Jessica, now let's go to the next chapter, chapter 3. Wow. Research design 3.1. Can you tell me what is the research design that you propose here?
So in this research thesis proposal, in this research, I use pre-experimental research with the design one group pretest post-test design. Ma'am.
Okay, you will set that the research design. Okay, one group, pretest, and post-test design. What does it mean?
So according to Sugiano,
No. I would like you to explain it to me, to make me sure that you understand this.
Okay, so one group
is design. I mean.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, I will try to explain it by myself. So for me, one group research post-test design is the design for research that will use only one group without any control group. There will only be experimental group where the experimental group will be given the pre-test before the treatment, and then the experimental group will be given the treatment after the treatment. The researcher will give the post-test again to see is there any significant effect or there is a change from the pre-test before to the post-test. That is from me, ma'am.
Are you going to compare something over there?
Yes, ma'am. I want to compare the score or the speaking
score of what?
Speaking score from the student
Okay.
from the pre-test to the post-test.
Okay, so in the left side, you have pre-test score. On the left, right side, you have post-test score. Tell me, okay? Are you going to compare individual score or mean score of speaking skill of the student, or speaking ability of the students?
The mean score, ma'am.
The mean score.
Oh yeah, from
So
all
mean
the
score.
students.
Okay, mean
Yeah.
score of what?
From all the students. So it will. That's why
Mean
I will
score.
use the mean score of
Mean score.
those students in speaking score. So that's why I will use SSS 25 program and to see the
Okay,
mean score from
okay, explain to me, how do you get the score?
So based on my thesis proposal, I will use the scoring system by Hardjust.
Okay.
As stated on my thesis proposal. So
Okay.
also I will give the test or worksheet for the pre-test, and after that
Okay.
I will give worksheet again on the post-test.
Okay, it means that you plan to design speaking tests, right?
Yeah.
In order to get scores, mean scores of pre-test, yeah, mean score of student speaking ability that you prepare in the form of pre-test, and then you also plan to design speaking tests, yeah, in the part of post-test after the treatment has been conducted. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So how do you design? How do you design? How do you design speaking tests?
Okay.
Can you show me where in this research proposal that I can find the research? What the research? The speaking test item.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for the question. Before that, you have mentioned that I didn't put the lesson plan for my thesis proposal. There is one of my mistake, and
no, that's okay. That's okay. Not mistake at all. No.
In my thesis
it just the weakness of your thesis proposal. Okay. So it means what? What does it mean? When there is no lesson plan over there and there is no instructional material of speaking for that particular class, and there is no speaking test item, those are your thesis proposal weakness. So what does it mean?
It means that I have to add those and mention those lesson plan, and I have to revise it.
So it means that you have to add it, right?
Yes.
Jessica, got the point? Okay,
yes,
so you see, okay, because I'm a reviewer, so I criticize everything over here because that's my job. Program studi memberikan mandat kepada ibu untuk obrak-abrik proposal ini. Jadi jangan rapi, apalagi nangis ya.
Okay,
but that, fine. Yeah, those are my suggestions for you. You need to revise so many things, particularly in chapter 3. Yeah. So the points that you need to add here, the first is lesson plan for online learning activities, and the next one is what? Instructional material that you are going to teach for the students by implementing information gap technique, and also test item based on the instructional material that you plan in your lesson plan. Oh, mungkin dong lesson plan-nya beda nanti soal tesnya kan, karena lesson plan itu kan bagian assessment-nya kan terakhir di bagian apa the last point of the lesson plan, ya kan? Jadi harus ada di situ, karena itu menjadi a very crucial thing that you need to prepare later. Itu saran ibu. Yang lain-lainnya tuh ibu tidak mau terlalu takut ya, karena yang essential I think adalah itu rohnya dari penelitian itu adalah yang diajar itu apa nantinya, kesulitan mereka tuh di mana pada saat belajar barang-barang tersebut tadi seperti ini. Katakanlah di situ say that the instructional material for the 10th grade students, particularly to develop their speaking skill, is to practice intersectional, intersectional dialogue, for example, atau interpersonal speaking. Kalau di kurikulumnya begitu, ini kemungkinannya bisa dua ini, transactional atau interpersonal. Tidak mungkin personal, karena ini menjadi dialog. Memang you mencantumkan di sini ada contoh-contohnya, tapi itu kan pasti you refer dari punya orang dan nggak jelas nih referensinya dari mana ini, Lady Diana, Helen Keller, and so on. That's okay, that's good. It means that you are ready to assess and you are ready to review this letter. But it seems to me it's not relevant at all when you did not mention in what part of English curriculum, particularly for SMK and specifically for the 10th grade in this second semester, that they need to learn, they need to master speaking ability. Apakah tentang apa? Apakah transaksional atau interpersonal, tentang apa? Kalau akuntansi itu, ibu nggak tahu, ibu nggak terlalu concern ke itu, ke vocational, walaupun itu menarik ya. Walaupun itu menarik, but selama ini saya tidak terlalu concern ke situ. But you need to study more about the curriculum of English for vocational school dalam hari ini. Begitu. Jadi saran ibu lagi ini ya, itu tolong ditambahkan. Semuanya akan ditambahkan supaya jadi tambah pintar, Jessica.
Siap, Ma'am.
Walaupun ibu tahu you sudah berjuang keras nih, mungkin kurang tidur tadi malam, mikir gimana aku dibantai Bu Elan besok pagi, besok siang. It's okay. Yeah, it's not a nightmare, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not the end of the end of the world, but it means that this is a good chance, this is a best chance for you to learn more and more. Lalu referensinya ini tolong, referensinya ya, yang terakhir nih.
Yeah,
Sebaiknya itu kalau yang misalnya ada jurnal online tuh kan ketikannya biru di situ, jadi bisa diklik. Ibu sekali klik aja dapat dia keluar langsung. Tapi ini karena hitam semua nggak bisa diklik nih. Contohnya nih, ngerti ya maksud ibu? Contohnya nih, Roslin. Nah, Teaching English Speaking Through Information Gap Technique. Lalu jurnalnya, nama jurnalnya adalah Wanastra, edisi 11, volume 2. Gitu
yes, ma'am.
Paham ya?
Sorry, ma'am. Yeah,
Ibu sudah tidak mengajar scientific writing. Jadi, tapi seingat ibu dulu, ibu yang begitu referensi gitu saya ajarkan, sehingga orang tinggal klik di situ, dosen bimbing juga tinggal klik, dosen reviewer juga tinggal klik, oh benarkah di situ, apakah dikutipnya langsung atau tidak langsung pengutipannya, untuk menghindar plagiat gitu ya. Kan nggak mau dong kita dituduh menjadi plagiator gitu, nggak mau kan, cantik-cantik kok plagiator, nggak mau lah bilang itu. You nggak mau juga kan?
No,
yeah.
I don't want to.
Okay. There are so many things that it seems to me you need to revise, but later I will send you my notes. But it is a general point that you should consider. Yeah, I didn't force you to follow my opinion or to my suggestion, but it's better for you to consider that. Yeah, discuss it with your advisor. These are 2, 1, and 2. All right, thank you very much. First of all, the last point that I appreciate that you are brave enough to design this, to construct this. This is proposal that is different than the previous research proposal. Great. Yeah, congratulations, Jessica. All right, Ibu Natalina, thank you very much. That is the end of my comment related to her thesis proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Elaneri. Now, Jessica, have you already made some noted?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, some notes.
Yes,
right.
I have, ma'am.
Take all the suggestion and then try to consider to be informations or something that you really need to improve your research proposal. And then, because Pak Tampung is here, now I give the time to Pak Tampung. Pak Tampung, do you hear Pak Tampung?
It seems like Pak Tampung is not here anymore, ma'am.
Okay.
Probably he's disconnected because of the network, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Now, I think you need to do your revision. Ya, Jessica, secepat mungkin ya.
Yeah.
Kalau bisa jangan buang waktu. Don't waste the time. Okay? Sooner is better. Yeah. Okay. Now, thank you very much, Ibu Ellen and also Jessica. I think that's all for our seminar proposal this afternoon. Thank you for all. It's time for Jessica to do your revision. Yeah, and then when you finish, you come to see Ibu Ellen to make sure whether your correction is good or not. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think that's all for us this afternoon. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ma'am. Can
Makasih
I
banyak
ask,
Bu Natalina, Bu Dekan, matur nuwun.
Yeah.
Ma'am Ellen, can
Terima
I ask
kasih.
something, ma'am?
Yeah.
Apa itu?
How do I get my the thing that I request for my thesis proposal that have you corrected before? Should I come to your house again to get it?
Why don't we use technology? So I can
Oh,
send
okay.
you my suggestion via WA and so on and so on.
Okay.
So use this equipment to make everything efficient and effective, right?
Okay,
Gak
ma'am.
usah datang ke rumah, nanti digongong anjing saya yang 2 ekor tuh nakal tuh.
Okay,
Kasih
ma'am.
WA aja
Okay.
nggak apa-apa. Ya,
Thank you,
enteng-enteng
ma'am.
aja
Yeah.
lah. Ya, pokoknya kita happy-happy supaya jangan kena Omikron.
Yes, ma'am.
Iya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oke, good afternoon. Thank you, Ibu Natalina.
Thank you, ma'am Natalina, ma'am Ellen. Thank you so much.
Ya, saya Liv ya.
Sama Bu.
Bye-bye everyone.
Bye.
Ma'am. Terima kasih teman-teman sudah datang. Aku N ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye,
selamat
Mari.
Jess.
Ya. Terima kasih ya teman-teman. Aku N ya. Dadah.